I'm live. Oh, and I'm really bright. All right, let's adjust that. How is everyone tonight? Let's pull this down. Now too dark. All right, YouTube settings are very different than what I had on mine. All right, can anyone hear me? It's a bit early, right at 8 o'clock, 8:01. Welcome. Oh, why am I so bright again? Let me try that again. Brightness down a notch. There we go. That's good. Okay. That's better. Okay, well, welcome. So this is my first live chat, as you can tell, and so I will be trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Keeping it going. I'm just trying to find the video on this side. It's harder to read it over here. Hi. So we have Arizona Kid. Hi, how are you? Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for joining Artist in the Garden. So check out her channel. She's also from Ontario, just a few hours north of me, I think. Artist in the Garden, great channel. And Arizona Kid is down in Arizona, of all places, and he does a lot of reviews of ATVs and things like that. If you guys want to, if anyone is in here and has a YouTube channel, make sure you just post that you have a channel. Go check them out. So this is my first live, as I said, and so it's more of just kind of a chit chat, get to know me, why I started this channel. I live in Brampton, Ontario, and I just noticed that my sign is flipped. You can't even see my Brampton Gardener. It's okay on this camera, but it's not on that one. I'll try and see if I can figure that out. So I live in Brampton, Ontario, which is a suburb of Toronto. And so it's right on Lake Ontario, which means we do have a slightly more moderate climate than some of our surrounding areas. We do get snow. We do get a lot of that colder weather. I am not sure actually what zone I'm in because it depends on which website I'm on. So some say I'm a 5B, some say 6A. And I definitely think the last few winters have been pretty mild, so definitely more of a 6A. At this point, it doesn't really matter to me which zone I'm in because I'm done planting my trees and perennials. So right now, the only time it would really affect me is when I am doing my cool flowers this fall. So I'm excited to start a few things that I will be planting out. I'll start them in the middle of the summer, and I will be planting them about, 4 to 6 weeks before my first frost. And then they'll have a chance to overwinter and come back early in the spring. And so that's only for cool, hardy flowers. And so I will need to do a little bit more research and make sure which ones will survive in my zone. But if you're interested in cool flowers, go check out Lisa Mason Ziegler at the Gardener's Workshop. She has a book written, Cool Flowers, and it explains the whole process. So it's very exciting. I will be trying some of those this year. So you may wonder why. Oh, let me see in the chat. Okay, so we have the Noble Garden is in North Carolina. Hello. Welcome. Prua. Go with that. Sorry, the light's kind of right on there. It's hard for me to see. Zone 8A. Oh, that must be nice. See, I grew up in Oregon, which is a Zone 8 as well. And I took it for granted. I did not appreciate the moderate temperatures and the amount of rainfall we had. I grew up in the Willamette Valley, which is one of the most fertile places to do any kind of gardening. They are the grass seed capital of the world. So they do a lot of farming, a lot of grass seed. Do not move there if you have grass seed allergies. It's a nightmare. But yeah, so I grew up in Oregon, and then I lived in Florida for a few years. And then I moved to Ontario, and so the weather here, the gardening, everything was a whole new learning experience. I never had to really worry about a deep freeze or, if we got snow, it was only an inch or two. So it's been a completely different activity. So who do we have in the chat? Nicole, hey, you made it. Thank you. She is in Houston 8B9A. Yeah, she's complaining that she can't grow a lilac. Ooh, I don't have any sympathy, sorry. And SB, oh, hello. So yeah, so I moved here in 2004 up to Ontario, and we had, a small backyard. It was a new home, knew everything. We built the deck. My husband had already owned the property, and so he had put in a few trees and shrubs, the shed up at the top, and like the yews and the cedars that you see up at the top by the shed, those were all here when I moved in. And from there, we just kind of started cutting out more of the grass every year. And that's my daughter, by the way, SB. Anyways, yeah, so we just slowly over the years, kind of started doing more and more planting, more and more gardening. And last year, with everything that happened, normally the spring is a very busy time for us with work. I work with my husband. We do construction, we do drywall and stucco ceiling repairs. And so the last several years, we have been doing some jobs at some universities. And so March, April, May, June has just been a swamp for us. And so last year, having that time off really gave us a time to cut out the beds a lot bigger than we had. I'll start over. It helped us, so we had the time now to cut out the beds a lot bigger. We had been wanting to do that for a while. We just never had the time in the spring to actually get it done. And so we widened the beds, and now we just have like that strip of grass going down. I will be doing a video at some point kind of showing the slight, evolution of the garden. And so I started watching, YouTube channels. And prior to last year, I had watched quite a few different YouTube channels and programs. I'd never really subscribed though, or like watched that often. And so all of a sudden I had all this free time. And so I started watching all different kinds of gardening channels. The first one I really got hooked on was Garden Answer, watching Laura and just her amazing ability to just constantly be doing projects and to be working. And it really helped me because a lot of times I would burn out halfway through. Like, I love the planting and I love doing all that, but the maintenance, fertilizing and, weeding and keeping everything watered and all of that. Sometimes, halfway through the summer, by the time August comes, I'd be tired and exhausted. And yeah, I think Garden Answer is definitely everyone's gateway channel for sure. And then I started watching a few others. You Can't Eat the Grass. I really enjoyed how down to earth they are and how, they do not glorify the farming life in any way. They're very fun to watch. And I learned a lot from them. I got into a bit more of the cut flowers. So I was watching her and Serena and her journey in making cut flowers for someone who doesn't like flowers. So she's done an excellent job with that. I also enjoy Nicole from Flower Hill Farm. Started watching her videos and got my list together of all the seeds I needed. There is even a Facebook. Oh yeah, of course I joined the Garden Answer Groupie Facebook page. Yep. I've been on there for a little while. I'm on a lot of different gardening Facebook pages. When I started my journey here in Canada, I joined the Canadian Gardening website, the magazine's forum. And so I was on that forum for years, long before Facebook was even around. And so then when Facebook came and they closed down that forum because they didn't want to host the website there anymore, a lot of people moved over into the Canadian Gardening Facebook group. And so there's a lot of people that I am friends with on there, and I'm friends with on Facebook that I have known probably 12, 15 years just from some of the different gardening boards. So it's kind of nice to see them all over there. Yeah, Nicole's channel really took off. I think last year everyone was just looking for anything garden related content, and she's a lot of fun. I've watched a few homesteading. We're in a very small townhouse here, so it's like our lot. It's very small, narrow lot. So I do enjoy some of the homesteading content. It's just not practical for me. I do enjoy watching Roots and Refuge and some of those other ones. And then I decided to start my own channel, and I started searching more for local content, because for me, watching stuff that, Laura is buying, like the hose link or some of these different seeds or bulbs, it's like we just cannot get them here in Canada. Either they don't ship in Canada, they can't come across the border. If they do, shipping is insane. And so I started looking for more local content to see, hey, if I like that, I can go to Canadian Tire and buy it, or I can order it locally. I literally live like 10 minutes away from the like giant Amazon warehouse. So if I order something from Amazon, it gets here in like 2 days. So I wanted to be able to, find something more relatable instead of just every time I see something, I'm like, oh, I really want that. Oh, can't get it here. So that was one of the reasons I kind of wanted to start doing something more here. The GTA, it's huge. We have like 3-4 million people in the GTA. So I figured it'd be nice to find people to communicate with and to share local information. So hopefully once the current situation is over with, I will be happy to go and tour maybe some garden centers, some of the famous gardens. Brampton is actually the garden city, and it was originally just a bunch of greenhouses downtown Brampton. So Brampton is famous and has been famous for a very long time for their gardens and for their flowers. And so I would really like to showcase some of that, maybe do some bike rides downtown and just show kind of some of the local flavor and the local gardening groups. So much of it has been shut down, right? So, okay, back to the chat. Who's in here? Everyone loves Laura. Of course, Serena and Aaron are great. They're hilarious. And I love their live chats. Like, they get so much information in there, and so many great people that I've met and new channels that I have got to watch. Kitchen Garden Therapy. Hey, how are you? No worries. No problem being late. And Roots and Refuge are your favorite. Yeah. I was watching actually on the Serena and Ian's live last week, and she was talking about how the gratitude that Jess has, and it is very inspiring. Cattle panel. You know what? I think that's the very first video I ever saw of Jess was the cattle paddle trellis. She was showing how to do it. And then I think the second one I ever saw when I finally decided to subscribe was the one where she did like the winter sowing with the soil just in a bag. And then she planted the lettuce and then stuck a plastic bucket on top of it. So I thought I watched that and I was like, who knew you could do that? And then I went down the rabbit hole of a million different YouTube channels. Oh, and my most recent subscription happens to be to Klaus Dalby's brand new YouTube channel. He's only got a handful of videos up and already more subscribers than I will ever have. But he's a gem. I enjoy watching him. I've been following him on, you watch the lettuce one too? I think we've all watched the same ones. Yeah. But I've been watching Klaus over on Instagram for a while. He does a lot of lives. He really likes to feature other gardeners and everything. And his containers are amazing. I have no idea how he organizes it and keeps it all straight. So I'm excited to see his channel and what he does with that over on YouTube. Yes, I watched the lettuce. Yep. Yeah. And have you seen Suburban Homestead channel? He's great. Every episode is like a movie. I don't know if I have. I will definitely have to check that out. I know he's adorable. I think he's so fun to watch. You can tell he just absolutely loves what he does, and he has so much joy in sharing it. And I would really like to have 2 full-time assistants as well, though. That would be nice. I watched his intro video, and he shows all his little seating areas in his rooms, and that kind of cracks me up when I see people either on YouTube or in the gardening groups, and they're like, oh, this is one of my gardens, and then my other garden's on this side, and they have all these different gardens and rooms, and I'm like, yeah, I have the one small garden. And so that's another reason I wanted to start my own channel, was because most of the people you see on YouTube, most of the videos, they have these big, lovely gardens. They're established. They've been there for a very long time. And here I am in a townhouse with a very small garden and a very small yard. And I just kind of wanted to, help other people see, what? Don't let yourself be limited and think, this is all I can do. I can just have, planters here and planters here, and the rest has to be grass. Do what you want. Cut it out. Get rid of the grass. Plant all the plants. All the plants. And that's the thing with Klaus is I watch this thing on Instagram, and it's like solid green plants. And he has this special tool that he's made, and he literally goes in and moves the plants out of the way to stick a hole in the ground to plant more stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, all the stuff. So I have totally gotten rid of this notion of spacing, especially for my annuals. And I'm just going to shove them all in as much as I can. So the front garden especially, I don't know, it's either going to be amazing or it's going to be a hot mess, because I've literally gone in there and I planted so much stuff in there today. I planted probably like 10 petunias. I did snapdragons. I did some gomphrena and some zinnias and some cranberry hibiscus, some dill, some the cinnamon basil. Like, I put so many plants in there because I want it to be really nice and full and lush. And I'm kind of battling where I have right now with the tulips. I deadheaded them, but they're still, you know, I got like this much of the tulips sitting there. So I'm like planting stuff kind of in and around so that when they go brown and I cut them down, then I will have something else already filling it and I won't have like a lot of this empty dead space. I have a small garden too, but every year I dig a little bit more grass and plant. That's what we did. I think we're done. I don't really think we can dig out any more grass. We will lose the edging completely. Yeah. Thank you, Bonnie. I think it's going to be beautiful, and I know it might not be some people's taste. I do kind of like that overwhelming tons of flowers. When I was little, I grew up, like I said, on the West Coast in Oregon, and I visited Butcher Gardens quite a few times, especially when I was really little, and that was just like really, I think, really impacted me and my style. And it just lush, lots of color. And I'd never been really big on begonias until the last time we went, and they have like this indoor begonia room. It's just solid begonias and a waterfall in the middle, and I was just blown away. They're so vibrant, and I really fell in love with begonias at that point. So I always make sure I have a few at least up in the front garden. Very niche. Lots of people can relate. I'm hoping people find it relatable. Gardening in containers. I have the grow bags. I do have a lot of planters, you know, pots up on the deck. I think last year I had like something like 40 containers, which is it kind of, I was like, no, that can't be possible. How do I have 40 containers? But yeah, I had 40 containers. 10 of them were the tomatoes in the grow bags. The Dollarama grow bags that I was using last year is super fancy. So yeah, it took me, I think, like 45 minutes to water every morning before work in just the backyard alone. And I sent my daughter out and she had to water the front yard every morning. So, I'll have to go and follow up with begonias too. Not my thing right. Yeah. It really hit me. I'll send you some pictures. I'll send you some pictures, or we can see if there's any footage online of the begonias at Butcher Gardens. It's amazing. And their sunken garden is absolutely stunning. And it's funny how much has changed over the years. The pathways changed and all this. I have pictures standing on the stairs from like when I was little, and then when I was a little bit older, and then the changes and all of that. So I think that probably did influence me on flowers. And then growing up in Oregon, like there's just everything just grows so beautifully. Rhododendrons, like here, rhododendrons are, you know, a shrub. They're like the size of a van. Like they're, you know, they can be like, you know, 15 feet in diameter. Rhododendrons are just absolutely enormous, you know, so very lush. And it's funny, like I lived in Florida and I had no interest in gardening down there. And I think it's because like you got bougainvillea growing wild. There's hibiscus growing wild. Like everything is so lush and gorgeous. And then I moved to Ontario and it's like, oh, yeah, we need some color here. We need some color here. Okay, I'm going to check the chat again. What do we have? You have a small garden too. Every year. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Hello, everyone. Congratulations on the first live. Thank you, Britton Farms Homestead. Welcome. Thank you very much. Where are you again? It takes me forever. Yeah, it takes you an hour. Yeah. I love watering. It is my absolute favorite garden activity. I just love the sound of it. I find it's relaxing. I really enjoy it. Just not when I'm like running late. We have tried to, I know a lot of people say, oh, put in drip or whatever, but we have a hill. So our property slopes kind of down like this into a dip where the deck is, kind of slopes down, and then it goes up to the concrete wall. And so trying to do any kind of, like I could probably put some of the pots on drip, but that's not the part that takes so long to water, really, like around on the deck. So the hill, we tried soaker hoses one year. It was a disaster. It just ran down and pooled at the bottom. And I'm just not going to spend the time and effort watering. Yeah, I like it. I like going out and you can sit there with your cup of coffee and water, or, sometimes it's like, why don't you get the sprinkler out? Oh, no, I'll just stand here and hold the hose. I'm fine. Especially watering the front garden. I don't mind just kind of sitting there with it. It's very relaxing. Yeah. If you're in a rush and you're running and you have to be out the door for work and you're worried that these plants are going to go, or you accidentally spray yourself right before you leave, that's not great. I was thinking about irrigation, but yeah. I think I would enjoy having the irrigation for things that I don't enjoy as much, like the grass, or just so you don't feel like you have as much pressure. Traveling is a problem, going away, going camping in the summer, things like that. It's just like, I haven't really done that in the last few years anyways. For one thing, camping's gotten outrageous. I don't know why campsites are so expensive now. But we've spent so much time getting the backyard and the garden how we want it, and the deck, and then we got the comfortable chairs. And so we just have just really enjoyed spending time out there. We got the little fire pit thingy and do marshmallows and everything. I feel different in August, but it's fun. Yeah, I know. Well, I'm excited to be at the point where I'm just watering, because I've been in full on planting. How long have you been in 18 years. I moved in officially in 2004, but I was up here for about 6 months prior to that. I looked up a thing you could control the watering from your phone. Like, oh, fancy. That would be great if my property was flat. We do backyard camping. I've been thinking about that, but again, we have the hill. We don't have anywhere flat enough, except for maybe on the deck. But that's not super comfortable. I'm sure my daughter would be happy with that, though. We do back, yeah. Yeah, a lot of times by August, I'm just like over it. But last year I was not. And I give the credit to a lot of the YouTubers I watch, especially Laura and Serena out there just slaving away and loving it. And so I even actually kind of enjoyed weeding last year. And so I don't know if it's just because I was like locked up too much and I was like desperate and bored. It's like, this is how desperate lockdowns made me, is I'm enjoying weeding. That's bad, eh? Hey, my Canadianism. So yes, apparently I have a bit of a Canadian accent now. Which is funny, because when I moved up here, people told me I had a southern accent from having lived in Florida, being as I grew up on the West Coast, which doesn't really have a regional accent at all. Your idea of camping is the best Western. Well, that's the thing. It's like I can spend the same amount of money, getting a campsite and hauling all the gear. And to go camping, it's like it takes like days to prep. Like, you got to pack, and you got to meal prep, and you got to get all the food in the cooler, and you got to get it all there, and then you got to get it all set up, and then you go, and it rains the whole time. So then you have to come home and pack up everything wet, and then you have to set it back up when you get home, because now you have to dry it all out. And for the price, it's like we could have gone for like 2 nights to Niagara Falls and stay in a hotel with a pool and all that. So if I wake up, I find weeding relaxing too, because it's mindless. That's true. It's mindless. Put some music on. I find like our garden has changed a lot since we moved in, because we moved in, like everyone here like planted the trees, and so the trees were very small. So as they're filling in and the trees are getting bigger, my backyard used to be full sun, and now parts of it are shady, and we have pruned a few trees because we were getting a little too shady. So we did cut off a few branches. So I find that I can, if I'm going to weed in the morning, I know I have until about noon on that left-hand side, and it will all stay in the shade. So I try to get that done in the morning, and then the afternoon, evening, I kind of switch to the other section up by the deck, and then that I follow the shade for sure. I think another thing that helped me last year too, with kind of like the upkeep and everything on the garden, was when Laura described her zoning. So it's like every part of her yard is broken up into zones, 5 zones for the week. And so each section gets seen, as she says, or passed over, weeded, whatever, once a week, depending on the zone it's in. And so I did zone up my yard a bit, which is kind of comical because my entire yard is probably half the size of one of her zones, but whatever. It worked for me, giving myself permission, because sometimes you go out there, you come home from a long day, you're hot, and the thought of having to weed the whole garden, you're like, oh, I gotta go weed. Ugh. So by saying, no, listen, okay, so it's Monday or whatever, I only have to weed the left-hand side of the garden. And then tomorrow I can weed the right-hand side of the garden. And then the next day I'll take care of the front. And so just taking that pressure off me really helped. And then more often than not, once I got into it and I was up there, it's like, I'm not going to leave weeds on the other side. More often than not, I just went ahead and weeded everything. But just kind of giving yourself that permission that you don't have to do everything all at once. And it's fine. So we got someone new in there. That's Western. If I wake up early, yeah. Oh, Diane. Who's Diane? Oh, there she is. Hey. Yes. So yeah, I've been in Brampton for quite a while now. Because my garden is small, I can weed it in a couple of hours. Remember my childhood, my parents had many acres, and that would take one day. Just, oh my goodness. Yeah, my parents, we had a bit of property when I was little. But yeah, I was busy, doing cartwheels and stuff. I didn't do a lot of maintenance on that property. We moved from there right before I started grade 1. So I was pretty little. I just remember we had corn growing and we had a creek that ran right through the middle of the property. And so we would hang out in that little creek. I remember we did a lot of bonfires. For some reason, my parents were constantly clearing stuff and burning stuff. So we had a lot of bonfires growing up. So that was fun. And we were surrounded by Christmas tree farms there. And so they harvest and they do a lot with the Christmas trees with helicopters. So I think I mentioned that in a previous video I had done, that sometimes if I hear like just a helicopter going over in the middle of the afternoon, it takes me back to my days when I was younger, and slightly nostalgic for me. But yeah, it's kind of cool to watch them picking up the bundles of the Christmas trees. They put them like in a big net in a bundle, and then the guy flying the helicopter comes in with a big hook and just swoops in and grabs them. I find myself pulling weeds mindless when I go check on plants in the evenings and make my kids very good. Yeah, I remember my mom when I was a kid. Yeah, sometimes she was always into contests. She was the youngest of 5 girls. There were 7 kids altogether, but the 5 girls were all in a row, and they were they were always doing games and very competitive and stuff like that. And so mom would always be like, oh, whoever can pick the most weeds, or whoever gets, fills up their bucket first and whatever wins. And it's like, what do we win? She's like, you win knowing you won. I was like, yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more motivation than that. But yeah, we did a lot of weeding and a lot of chores like that as a kid. The Christmas tree farm is here in Everett near Allison. Oh, yeah? Yeah. I think there's some not too far from here. Here in Brampton, we are right on the border of the Niagara Escarpment runs just north of us. And so it's kind of, they call it a mountain in Hamilton. And I laughed when I first moved here. They call it the mountain. I'm like, mountain? Like, I'm from the West Coast. I ain't a mountain. These ski hills that they have here are no offense, but yeah, they're hills for sure. And so it's a very, very, what am I trying to say? The agriculture, what am I trying to say? The section here, they grow a ton of food right behind us. Like, we used to be all farmland right behind our house. Behind that wall that you see in my backyard is the Ontario Mountains. Yes. That backyard is the railroad tracks. And so right on the other side of the railroad tracks, it was all farmland. Looking out my window, I looked out at farmland, and that's where the farms kind of started. And then they started building houses out that way. But literally just past that, within walking distance, there's cornfields, there's tons of orchards. It's a very good growing region, even though our soil here is all clay. But yeah, we are in the there's a term, what is it called? I can't think what it's called. The food, a little bit of a food valley here. So, and of course they're always trying to expand the roads and everything else in here. Okay, so anyone that is in here, if you have your own YouTube channel, just make sure you just comment right now just saying, check out my channel. So feel free to go plug your channels and go check out, if you're not watching other people in here, check out their channel. Hey, Aussie, how are you? What time is it over there? What time is it? So it's Friday? It's got to be Friday morning, I guess. Yeah. Welcome. I went to Australia in 98, 99, somewhere in there. It was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. Breadbasket? No, that's in the States down south. I think I forgot to say where I am from also. I live in Chicago now, but I moved from Ukraine to the States 9 years ago. I've never been to Canada, only Niagara Falls, maybe one day. Yes, definitely come to Toronto. Come check out the local scenery. It's absolutely beautiful. Yes, 10:30 a.m. on Friday. Welcome. Yeah, so I went to Australia I was 20. Oh no, I just aged myself. Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. We went to Sydney, we went to Brisbane, and then we went up to Noosa Heads, I believe it was, and stayed with some friends of ours there. It was absolutely beautiful, had a great time, and I am still obsessed with Tim Tams. My absolute favorite chocolate biscuit. So I get excited every time they go on sale. I actually, when I lived in the States, we couldn't find Tim Tams anywhere. They didn't have them. But here in Canada, we have Tim Tams. So that's great. Very nice spots. Yes. I enjoyed your passion flower vine video. Here, we can buy them, but we have to bring them in over winter. They would never survive our winters here, so we would never have to worry about the rooting. I do know what a Tim Tam Slam is. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We tried that. Just make sure your coffee's not too hot. I showed my daughter. She thought it was great. She used some tea for it as well. Yeah. Artists in the garden. So everyone here know everybody? So yeah, like I said before, if you have a YouTube channel, feel free to say, I have a YouTube channel. And that way people will know that you have your channel. And they can come and check you out. Yes, Aussie. I really enjoyed it. I also went to New Zealand. That was beautiful as well, but definitely not as nice of weather over there. Good eye. Good eye, Mike. Yeah. All right. Does anyone have any questions? I don't know. Talked quite a bit. Planted everything this week. Like, I had so many seedlings. It was absolutely insane, all of the stuff I started this year. The only things that I have bought, the only purchases I made for my garden this year were for my front planters because I was not able to grow any shade plants. So I bought a 6-pack of impatiens. I bought 2 begonias, 1 geranium, which I know isn't really a shade plant, but I always put one up there anyways, and some lobelia, like a handful of plants. And then I had thanks. And then I had some lemon thyme that I found, and tarragon, which I've been looking all over for tarragon. So that's all I bought. Like, everything else that I planted out, I grew from seed, and 99%, I would say, of those seeds I got in seed swaps in the fall. So if you don't believe me, you can go watch my seed swap video where I show everything that I got. Yeah, it was a little crazy. I thought, oh, this will be cheap. I'll just, I won't have to pay for seeds. I'll just do some swaps. And hey, Joe, how are you? Welcome. Hi, everyone. Yeah. I'll make sure you go check out Garden State Gardener's live streams he does every Sunday. He has giveaways. I've actually missed the last 2. Like, I've come on like literally 5 minutes after it's over. I was out in the garden and the time got away from me. I still have to get my dahlias. You know what? I haven't done dahlias for years. I used to do dahlias, and I planted them right by the deck so I could see them and enjoy them, and they were beautiful. And they got full, I mean full of earwigs. Like, it was just like they were just like literally crawling, like earwigs were just crawling all over them, and it just really grossed me out. And so I was just like, yeah, nope, I'm done with dahlias. So if I tried them again, I would definitely put them farther away from the garden. And I don't know how I would use them as cut flowers. I guess if you cut them before they open, but seed swaps are a great idea. Yes, artist in the garden, honey. Yeah, there's several, probably 3 Canadian ones that I was in. And then I did a few to the US. So we are able to send seeds across the border, but no like bulbs or corms or anything like that. So I will, I was just like, just search Canadian seed swaps. There's like 3 or 4 out there that are great. So yeah, literally I got so many things. The only thing I couldn't find were shade seeds. So I did put some in search of posts about mainly impatiens and the lobelia, because there's a lady over in the gardening board who grew a ton of lobelia last year, and she filled in like the whole side of her house with this bright blue lobelia and in the garden, and it looked absolutely gorgeous. And I'd never thought of using lobelia in the garden instead of just in flower pots. I've always just seen them in hanging baskets. So I was like, oh my goodness, that seems like a really, a really great idea. But then I couldn't find any of the seeds. And then I tried ordering stuff from Baker Creek and they were shut down, and William Dan was shut down. And then everything I had wanted from Florette sold out. So I ordered seeds back in August, a couple things from Baker Creek and a few things from Rainbow Seeds, which is in New Brunswick. They had some really nice prices, and that was it. Like, I just didn't order seeds. I ordered the big seed catalog from Baker Creek, which is an amazing read. It was just stunning pictures, very interesting articles. There's recipes. There's all kinds of things in there. I love blue. Yeah, it's hard to find like a true blue in the garden. It's very cooling, I find. It's really nice. So I will definitely be looking for, I do have forget-me-nots that I did winter sowing, and they are coming up. But I planted them out, but they're not very good. Yeah, I need to work harder on actually saving my seeds. Yeah, saving seeds is a lot of fun. I have a video of how to save the petunia seeds that I did post on my channel. I will be adding more, probably as the season goes on, videos on how to save seeds. If you are interested in that, especially like for vegetables and whatever, Jess at Roots and Refuse has an amazing video on how to do that, because certain vegetables and fruits, like, you don't pick them when they're ripe like you would eat. You have to let them over ripen. So like a zucchini, you wouldn't take seeds from like a green zucchini. You have to wait until that zucchini gets big and gross and soft and orange and whatever, because that's when the seeds are mature. So she has a real breakdown on all the different videos. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you just forget, and you're like, oh, I'll do it later. And last year, in the seed swaps, a lot of people wanted moonflower seeds. And I'm just like sitting out there waiting and waiting and waiting for my moonflowers, because each bloom only produces like maybe 1 or 2 seeds. And so it took forever. Yeah, the loofahs are really fun. So I do have a few started this year. There's like literally hundreds of seeds inside each loofah. So that was fun. I have a bolting broccoli. I'm going to do it this. Oh, there you go. Yep. Save your broccoli seeds. Yeah, I've never really grown broccoli. I really want some runner. Wishing dishes and listening in. Hey, to Sweet Spot. Dishes, boo. I already did my dishes. I'm done for the night. Relaxing. Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining. So I think most everyone in here has a YouTube channel. So if you're not following them, go following them. I love the moonflowers. I thought they were beautiful, big white blooms. My husband, however, thought it smelled like dirty gym socks. So I didn't even bother growing them this year. I'm switching over to, I have some hyacinth bean vine and Kiss Me Over the Garden Gate. A ton of morning glories that will be coming back on their own. And then I do like Scarlet Runner, and I have quite a few climbing pole beans that I'm trying. So I will not be short on climbers this year. Vines are one of my favorite things, as you can see from my arbor. Oh, this thing's still backwards. Why? I can't edit the background. Can I flip it? Here, flip it. Let's see if it's going to flip. Ah, yay! I finally remembered to switch it. There we go. So you can see this is my arbor from last year. It had so many different vines on it. There's my loofah. So I planted loofah and jelly melon on it, on this side. And then I planted the cucamelon on this side. And then part of this is like 2 different tomato plants. You can see that climbed over it. And then a gazillion volunteers, morning glories grew over it. And it was just incredible. Yeah. I think they smell beautiful. And I don't think it was so much like when they were blooming, but like when they started to die, and then sometimes they'd like fall down into the thing and it would start smelling. Double type. Oh, is that the one that you would like put in your lemonade and it turns it pink? The blue butterfly pea. I read about that in the Baker Creek catalog and I really wanted it, but every time I went to look at it, they were sold out over there. So I do have a wish list going already of seeds that I need or want for next year. Some of them I have, if it's from the people that are in the seed swap group, then I go ahead and I put it on my list, and then I put the name of the person in the seed swap group, so I'll remember to go and get them. I have to research that. I bought a few plants years ago, but if I can collect seeds, I will share. That is awesome. That sounds great. Yeah, let's share. I am willing to do seed swaps with anyone that I can legally send seeds to. So hit me up if you see something growing in my garden. Because last year there was a lot of things that I had never thought to collect seeds from. People were like, oh, I want this, I want that. Like my Solomon seal out front. A lady was asking for seeds from Solomon seal. I was like, never occurred to me to try and save seeds off of that. And she actually ended up living not too far from me in Burlington. And I told her, I don't have any seeds, but I do have Solomon seal. And if you want a chunk, come get it. So she drove out a few weeks back and picked up a chunk of Solomon seal. So that's better than seeds, right? So thank you on the background, because you do not want to see what's really behind me right now. What's really behind me are my shelves of messy fabric, because my other hobby is sewing, and so it's just stacks of fabric, and it's not attractive. I really wanted to be able to do my live out in the garden now that it's all planted up and ready to go, but of course I have to hit my 1,000 subscribers before I am able to do mobile. I would love to do seed swaps with all of you. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. We had a lot of the mystery seeds that were flying in that people hadn't ordered coming across, that caused a lot of panic last year, and I think a few came in this year, so I understand. So you know what, Aussie, you should check and see if you have any local Australian groups that do seed swaps there. That might be interesting. You might be able to find people. I am not trying holy basil this year. I wanted something. Someone said it doesn't taste that great. I don't know. I didn't get seeds from it, but I can buy it locally. I've seen it on the Facebook Marketplace. People are selling, or one lady's actually giving them away. She has a ton of the Tulsi holy basil. So I did do basil this year. I did cinnamon basil. Has anyone ever smelled cinnamon basil? It smells so much like cinnamon. Like, it's incredible. And the lemon basil, it really, really smells really good. Never participated in seed swap before, but looking for it. Is, and it's addictive. And I will give you some seed swap advice right now. Okay, so I started the seed swap thinking I was going to save money. Okay, so I did save money by not ordering a ton of seeds online, but I did like over 50 seed swaps last year. So a little crazy. What that means is, though, that I'm spending money on postage. So most of the time you see something and you have your list of what you have, and people are like, oh, I want that and that and that. And then they say, okay, well, what do you want from me? And I would look at their list, and at the beginning I would just take anything. The taste wasn't good. I'm growing the cinnamon basil mainly for bouquets as filler, so hopefully that works. I threw some in a salad I was making, and in some Lebanese style potatoes and eggplant, and it was pretty good, but just a little bit too, not too overpowering. So what I was doing is I was just being like, oh, okay. I would kind of take anything in a trade at that point, because I was like, oh, it's exciting. Some stuff I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever grow it. I don't know what this is. I don't. And so I learned partway through. Yeah, exactly. I need to show you. Yes, a support group for that. Yep. So what I learned towards the end was, if I had something someone wanted, I had no problem doing a swap with them. But I stopped taking seeds if I didn't need them. And if I was not planning on growing them. It's like, no, I do not need all these seeds that I'm not going to grow. I would rather them swap it with someone else. And so at that point, if they didn't have anything that I really wanted, that wasn't on my want list, because I do have very limited space to grow, then I would just have them send me a self-addressed, sealed, stamped envelope, which is very hard to say. And so what that did is it saved me the postage and having to write out a label on the envelope. And so I didn't mind giving away the seeds for free that I'd collected, especially, off of my own stuff. I had plenty of it, and I was happy to share it. And then other people would do that for me. So that's what I learned, is if you don't see something you want, but you have something someone else wants, just have them send you a stamped envelope, and then you're not going to be out the extra money. 16 varieties of basil. Oh my goodness. I have 4. I thought I was going a little excessive with 4. I tried lime basil. I couldn't get my lime basil to do anything. It germinated, and then I'd see a little sprig of green, and then it would be gone. And then I tried seeding it, I think 3 or 4 different times, and it just never took. The rest of them went crazy though. Yes, for sure. Let me see that one about the basil. That would be great. So if anyone has any questions coming this fall, I'll probably do a video on seed swapping, a little bit of like seed swapping, you know, ins and outs, what to do, what not to do, how not to get too overwhelmed. I had a nice spreadsheet that I used. So yeah, I had no idea until I started the seed swaps last year how many different varieties of everything there is, right? You say, oh, I want to grow cucumber. And then people are like, well, what kind of cucumber? There's like 50 million kinds of cucumber. Kind of like tomatoes. I'm growing 12 different varieties of tomatoes this year, all new to me except for one, the chocolate cherry tomatoes, which are my absolute favorite. So I will grow them every year no matter what. Oh, Kiki, hey, how's it going? How are your bugs? Hopefully you have not given up. You are staying strong. And you'll get rid of those. Man, oh God, I felt so bad for you. I was like, oh. And you had some more wigglers I saw this morning, eh? Yeah, I'm loving the herbs. I noticed over, it was funny, in one of the gardening boards this morning, a lady posted, she was like, should I buy fresh basil? I know you grow it to dry, but has anyone ever eaten fresh basil for anything? And I'm like, I just want to be there when this lady tastes fresh basil for the first time. I think that would be amazing, because if you're only ever had dried basil and then you try some real fresh basil with some tomatoes and whatever, oh my goodness, it's so good. Garden, you tried the borax and the sugar. They're gone? The bugs are gone. Woohoo! That is awesome. I'm growing 25 different tomatoes. Ooh, yes, I want to see a review on that. Yeah, so I am doing, oh gosh, I don't know if I can remember all the names. So I'm doing dwarf tomatoes for the first time this year. So I have Tiny Tim and Gold Pearl, which I've never even seen before, much less tasted or tried or grown. And they have done amazing. I started them early because I was desperate to start some seeds in February. And I knew that they wouldn't get really too big and too out of control. I figured even at full size, I would have the room to take care of them properly. And so that worked out really well. And they have like decent sized tomatoes on them. So I'm excited to try those and taste those. And then I got in some swaps. I knew I wanted black Krim. I've heard about them. I knew I wanted the pink Brandywine. People have talked about them a lot. Serena goes on and on about pink Berkeley tie-dye, so I had to try that. So I got those. My dad was obsessed with the mortgage lifter. He read up about those, so he actually sent me a pack of seeds for those. I got some money makers. I've got Custolfuto, something like that. It's like a red Italian, kind of like the accordion shape, red slicing tomato. Sorry to any of the tomatoes I've forgotten. Oh, Brad's Atomic Grape. I've been really wanting to try that. The Brad's Atomic Grape and the Gold Pearl dwarf tomatoes I got from the tomato seed bank. So in one of the seed swap groups, and I can never remember the exact group it's in, but this other lady, she has a seed company, a Facebook page called Christine Seeds. And yes, that's the one. Thank you, Joe. They started a flower bank and a separate tomato bank. And so what you do is you basically check out seeds. So you can pick 3 varieties and they will send you 10 seeds of each. And then you just agree that at the end of the season, you will grow them out. Yes, there's a seed bank in Canada. And actually there's a lot of local libraries will have seed libraries. I know Toronto does, Caledon does, I think Mississauga just started one, but here in Brampton we don't have the seed bank. But yeah, basically what they do is they send you a packet with 10 seeds or whatever, and then you just kind of agree that at the end of the season you will return whatever their arrangement is. So the one I did is, I think it's 6 times whatever they send you. So if you send you 10 seeds and you send back 60 seeds of that tomato, so you grow it out, and so it helps grow the seed bank. And they also take like donations and everything, right? Good night, Ossie. I mean, good night. Good afternoon. Go help your wife. Go enjoy. Thank you for popping by. Great to see you. Hope everything's going well for you over there. Brad's atomic grape is going banana plants. Good. Because you know what? A lot of people I saw their Brad's atomic grape were looking kind of weird. And I would say, like, for all of mine, it's a bit more dainty than my other tomato plants. Like, the leaves are a bit smaller, and it just kind of always looks a little droopy. I don't know. The most vigorous tomato plant I've ever grown was the Black Visage. Kind of cherry. Well, it's bigger than a cherry tomato. But it grew, like, it was twice as big as my other plants. It bloomed, fruited up way sooner than my other plants last year. But it's not great. It's very mealy. Like, I didn't mind it, but it's not one that you would like want to slice up and put on a sandwich. It's not one that you just want to pop in your mouth. So I was excited that it was blooming, and I was excited it was ready to go, and so I just made a lot of fresh salsa with it. Because I was growing a lot of jalapenos and cilantro, so I just made a lot of pico de gallo with it. So yeah, the chocolate cherry plants are pretty fast growing as well. I think the cherry tomatoes seem to be faster than the larger tomatoes. I don't know why. But yeah, mine are definitely a bit bigger than the others growing in the row there. Yeah, Brad's I'm just finding are not quite as hardy. Maybe it's just a slightly different variety. And then the pink Brandywine is a potato leaf. So that's kind of a fun, different style. I had one last year that was a potato leaf variety as well, and I can't remember which one it was. But at first I was like, what is that? That's not a tomato, but it's a tomato leaf variety. Hey, Farm and HVAC, welcome to see you. Okay, I just came quickly to say congrats. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll check your video. My cherry tomatoes are better growers too. Yeah, so I think maybe it's just they have less work to do because the tomatoes are smaller. They don't have to spend as much time growing their roots or whatever. I don't know. But I cannot believe the growth on my tomatoes in the past week. They've been in those grow bags. I am blown away. I would say they've grown like 6 inches, some of them. Yeah. Yes, you have yellow Brandywines. Nice. Nice. I grew a few different yellow and orange tomatoes last year that were quite good. But this year I don't have any. Triple crop. That's potato leaf too. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a little harder to distinguish when it's sprouting. I'm like, what is that? Oh, yeah, okay, hi. Oh, checking the chat. Hello, everyone's saying hello. Everyone knows each other. It's so nice. This is such a great group. I would really like to, yes, thank the other gardening YouTubers. They're just such a warm and welcoming, supportive group in all the live chats, the chit chat going on, and the support on the videos and the comments section. It's been really great. It's not the competitive nature that you might think it would be. We're all here just helping each other. You eat yellow tomatoes like for just crack. Yeah. Although, yeah, in our family, the #1 tomato lover is my dog, Gizmo. He is obsessed with tomatoes. He always has been. He's actually the reason I started growing the tomatoes in pots. Because the first year we had him and I was growing them in the ground, he kept stealing them. And then he would try to come in the house. So, like, I would open the door and he's standing there and he's like this. And you can see, like, this red tomato in his mouth. I'm like, you're not coming in the house with a tomato? And he'd be like, look at me like, huh? Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. He was stealing tomatoes. So I was like, okay, well, this isn't working. And I didn't mind him taking them. Like, there was enough to share. But he kind of got rough on the plants. So I was like, okay. So the next year, that is when I started putting my tomatoes in pots. Because then he can't step on them. So I'd always done it in pots along the fence. And then as the neighbor's tree is getting bigger, it's casting too much shadow. So was it last year? I think last year was the second year that I started doing them on the deck. Well, didn't the little brat find out that he can reach from the deck? He can reach the tomatoes as they come through on the deck, and he can eat them. But he's very particular. Like, he will not eat them unless they are perfectly ripe. He will go up and he will sniff that same cherry tomato 3 or 4 times a day until it is the exact ripeness that he prefers, and then he will pop it in his mouth. So he is very particular. He has a very discerning palate. So, oh gosh, no, fortunately I didn't like the beans. The other 2 things he discovered last year that he loved were the ground cherries. So I hardly got any ground cherries, and then he ended up trampling that plant, and it ended up dying. And I told him, you know what, that's on you, because you killed the plant. He killed it out of love. And then the other thing I had up there that he loved were the cucamelons. He really, really enjoyed the cucamelons. So he was like out there having a salad every day. So, and it's funny, like when we, he is, and then when the tomatoes, like last year when the frost was coming, I cut them down and I brought him in to, kind of ripen in the house. And 2 years ago, I had him over by the window in the living room, kind of on a tray there, and he would go, because he's a pug, right, so he's short, and he would go and he would like go under the table and he could sniff, like he could totally smell the tomatoes. Our neighbors are always giving handfuls of cherry. Yep, I think it's cute. They love it. He enjoys being out in the garden with me, although this year I'm not sure how much he's going to be in the garden. He's 15 and a half, and his back legs are kind of not working as good as they had been, so he has been avoiding the hill. I think it's too hard for him to kind of go up and down the hill, but he's still been rooting around looking. And when I planted out the tomato bags last week, he'd been in the house when I was doing it, and he came out, my husband set him down on the ground there, and he's like, like he saw all the tomatoes, and he saw the bags, and he walked along, and he was sniffing them, and he was so exciting. So, life in this, hey, Randy and Paula, Paula and Randy. Randy and Paula and Randy. My husband's name is Randy. Yeah, I heard there's some snow coming. Yikes. Did you have your stuff already planted? See, that's the other thing about growing like my tomatoes and all my peppers. I do them in pots, is that if I do have like a freak freeze, I could just kind of either pop them all into the basement or bundle them all up together and kind of use my little heater on the deck. Using sheets, towels, empty pots, and buckets to weather the... Ooh. Do you have a heater? Would a fan help at all? I found it interesting over on Jess's channel was talking about, hi, Chris Clever Craft. That's always hard to say. I always want to say Chris Craft, and it's not. It's Chris Clever Craft. Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Jess over on Roots and Refuge was talking about the frost and how it is actually when the plants warm up. When the sun hits them, the cells explode because they heat up too fast. So she went out in the frost before the sun came up and watered everything so that the water from the hose kind of would gradually warm them up if they were frozen before the sun hit them. It's supposed to help keep the cells from exploding. So it was 90 degrees yesterday, going to be 60 tomorrow. That's what happened to us. That's what happened to us, Kiki. We were in the mid 80s, like for the last couple weeks on and off. And then today our high was like 56. I'm like, what? So yeah, we dropped a good 25, 30 degrees. We had some rain yesterday though, so that was amazing. We had not had rain here in the Toronto area for weeks. So the rain was really good. Oh yeah, hit the thumbs up. Thank you. I forgot. Yeah, make sure you hit like and thumbs up on the video. Kiki is doing well. Hello, Chris. Oh, everyone's saying hi to each other. It's so nice. Such a nice, friendly group. So I'm also trying a lot of peppers that were new here as well. I've got some cayennes. I've got some Jamaican hot chocolates. I'm assuming it's kind of like a Scotch bonnet or something, but we shall see. Also some Bolivian rainbow, Chinese ornamental, Trinidad perfume. And the Trinidad perfume are technically, I guess, officially no heat. So kind of like the habanada. It's there's no heat with that one, so just a lot of nice flavor. So that'll be kind of fun too. And then I ended up, I lied. I did have to buy a few things. So a local guy on the Nextdoor app was selling jalapenos, and I could not get jalapeno seeds in the seed swap. So I did go buy 2. You know what Jamaican hot chocolates are? I have a few seeds left if you want for next year, or I can try and save them off this year's. What are they like, Kiki? What are they like? Because I got 2 sets of seeds. One said Jamaican hot chocolate, and the other one said maybe Jamaican hot chocolate. So I planted some of each, and they both look exactly the same. So I'm hoping they're all the same plants. I had some bird's eye peppers that didn't come up. My buy kitchen therapy, go feed your family. Go feed them. They're starving. What are you making for dinner? I know it's going to be good. She always has such good, lovely food over there. I'm worried this cold front will stunt my peppers' growth 5 degrees. Yeah. I don't think we're getting down quite that cold tonight. I got to double check though. But yeah. I don't know. You don't know. I thought maybe you'd heard of them before. Yeah, they sound exciting. So I will let y'all know. I don't know if I'll be doing a live taste test on those. I have no idea. Thanks, Joe. Actually, I have some seeds I wanted to send you. I haven't packaged up, and I just haven't made it to the post office yet. I wanted to donate for your giveaways. So now that I've put this out there on the Webiverse, I have to do it. So that will get me to the post office hopefully soon. Thank you so much. Hope everything's going well for you and the family. We'll be thinking of you. I know it's a tough time. Kiki Soto, good. Oh, such a nice chat. Everyone. Yeah. Joe, I was mentioning before over Garden State Gardener. If you're not following him, go follow him. He does live seed and hot sauce giveaways every Sunday night. So you just have to find his post that he posts throughout the week. Comment on it, and then you're registered on his big wheel that he spins. And he does giveaways. And he also does features of different channels. So if you want to find some new channels, he'll pick, like 4 or 5 kind of new YouTubers, and he'll kind of feature a little video clip, talk about their channel. So it's great. It's a great way to get some exposure, and it's a great way to find some new channels to watch and find some new content. So great job you're doing, Joe. Hopefully you get to your 1,000 subscribers. Have you hit 1,000 yet? You were getting pretty close, I think, last time, weren't you? I think you were getting pretty close. Yeah. Yeah, isn't it great? Everyone here, they're so friendly. So I've really been enjoying all the live chats on everyone else's channels. And I thought, you know what? Let's do one here. No one knows too much about my channel. And so yeah, I would really like to this summer get out and I was going to say expose Brampton, but that sounds like a really, really bad way to do it. Oh my God, Bonnie, way to go. 200 subscribers. Yay. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. I have to say I've been really surprised and pleased with how the subscribers have been going. I just hit 100 subscribers myself at the end of April. That had been my goal. By the end of April, I wanted to hit 100. And I think I got 101 last day of April, so starting May 1st. And so my new goal for May had been to get 125 subscribers. And my daughter said, 150. I'm like, 150? I was like, honey, slow down. So then she talked me into it. I said, all right, so 150. And I think I am currently now on the 27th of May at 171 subscribers. So 70 subscribers this month. So that's really exciting. And yeah, let's hope we keep climbing and keep growing. I think Wicked Awesome Gardening, who's not in here tonight because she has her dress rehearsals for her performance that she's doing. She just hit 500, so that's awesome. Oh my God, Kiki, you didn't you just hit 800? You literally just hit 800. You did a video at 800. Oh, thanks, Chris. I'm at 173. Very nice. Wow, Kiki, that is awesome. How are your watch hours? If you need watch hours, let us know. We will do what we can to help you get those watchtowers up. watchtowers, watch hours. It's very hard to say. Yeah. So if anyone, I think everyone here has a YouTube channel. Is there anyone in here that doesn't have a YouTube channel? I don't think so. Yeah, that's great news, Bonnie. My daughter really liked your the art tube that you did. The big. She's really into painting, so I'm gonna have to have her watch your artist in the. No, it's not artist in the garden. What's your art channel? Artist in the art room. I can't remember which other channel is for the arting, but yeah, I'm gonna have her watch the mural one as well. She's really into drawing and art. I'm a little over 1,000K watch hours. Oh, okay, so you got to get your watch hours up. I hear ya. Yeah, my watch hours are pretty sad right now. So, artist in a studio. That makes a lot more sense. Yep, that's a much better name than I came up with, for sure. Yes. And artist on a Harley. That sounds dangerous. I always joke about that when we see the train tracks go by and there's like graffiti on them. I'm like, wow, those people must be really fast with the graffiti on the trains. We planted our seeds in the house way too early. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem every year. And I see people like, that was me the last 2 years. And this year I was like, nope. I'm going to wait. Dang. I think you should do gardening on a Harley. That could be fun. Yeah, so this year I definitely did hold off on the tomatoes. I waited until I think April, just like very end of March, 1st of April. I waited because I was like, yeah, I do not want to, because I knew I wanted to do more varieties, and I was doing the soil blocks, and so I did not want them to outgrow their soil blocks and have to pot them up. I was like, nope, that's not happening. So I managed to keep. I planted the paint 2 flowers. Oh, good. I'm happy to see that. Did you go with the Super Tunia Pink Bubblegum Vista Bubblegum? I finally found one. I had never seen it before in my garden center. I saw one at Home Depot. I snagged that. Oh, yeah, I lied. I also got one of those and a couple coleus. That's all I bought, I swear. So I did plant that. It'll be my first time trying the Super Tunia Vista Bubblegum, so that will be exciting. Hopefully it's as good as everyone says it is. Yep, Harley in the garden with a paintbrush. Sounds good. I think you should make a t-shirt. I think you should draw a t-shirt of that, yeah. They are pink petunias. Okay, that's good. Once tomatoes and peppers get started, they take off. They do. My peppers they were pretty small. They were back ordered, and then they got lost in the mail. And so, yeah, merch. I know that's what my daughter said. Oh, you need some merch. She drew me my logo that I use, the sketch basically of me standing in this arbor with my little hat and sunglasses on. And so she's like, yeah, Mom, you need to make some merch. So I'm like, okay, well, I would like to make something at least for me to wear. Yeah. You just hit 50. Good job, Paula and Randy. And you garden in are you in zone 3? I want to say zone 3, right? Minnesota, or you're somewhere along Michigan? I can't remember, because I posted a link to you on one of the Canadian gardening boards. Someone up north was asking. They're like, I can't find anyone in my zone. She was like, everyone is always like in a zone 5 or 6. And I said, I know these people. I think they're in a zone 3. So hopefully they checked you out and following along. Because, yeah, Bonnie got in trouble for posting her zone 5 post. But hopefully other people that are more local will find that and see it. So, yeah, anyone... I did a shout out for Ontario YouTubers, but if you are interested and want to promote your channel on my Facebook page, maybe after this I will go and just post on Facebook. I am Brampton Gardener as well. And feel free to just leave a little comment about you and what zone you're in and a link to your channel. So I will do that right after the live. So go ahead and plug away. Oh, she did subscribe. Oh, good. Yeah. Did Paula or Randy answer what zone they're in? Just so I know. It would be kind of nice if we had... Can someone make a spreadsheet where everyone enters all their info and what zone they're in so we can help people out? Because I have shared other people's videos. Someone was asking about sunflowers the other day, and I remember just watching a video from She's a Mad Gardener, had 6 tips for growing sunflowers. So I shared that link. So I feel awkward sharing my own links in groups, and I think that's kind of frowned upon, but I do like to share information. So if I think of someone and I think of a video that they've had that touched on something, then yeah, I will go ahead and share a link to that. Nope. Paula and Randy have not responded yet. We don't know what zone you're in. Because yeah, I think I thought it was a zone 5B, and then someone else said, oh no, Brampton's a zone 6. So I'm like, okay, so I switched to zone 6. And then something else I saw said 5B as well. So I think there's a difference. I think the problem is there's a difference between USDA zones and Canadian. Oh yeah, the conversion stuff, yeah. My daughter and I got stuck watching the conversion videos somewhere. But they're in California, so it's like they just, you know, put their chairs outside and it's fine. So being in a colder climate for sure would make a difference. You're in 5B in New York. Yeah, I think technically we're still a 5B on the US. And then I know people get upset if you're in the Canadian groups and you say your US zone. They're like, well, that's a US zone. I'm like, yeah, but I'm buying plants or I'm ordering seeds from, you know, US seed companies that are based on that zone. So I need to know what my US zone is if I'm buying seeds from, you know, Baker Creek that are for this or that, right? So Paula and Randy, which zone are you in? And where are you? I want to say Minnesota or Michigan, but I can't exactly remember off the top of my head. Sorry. I'm not so good at everyone's names. Fortunately, they have their name right in their channel. That's very handy. You are working on your next video. That's great. I've been a little bit behind on videos because I've been planting and more planting. And the thumb screw on my camera and tripod kind of stripped out a bit, so I have to get a new thumb screw. So I have been using a GoPro that I borrowed. I did not buy a GoPro. I borrowed a GoPro, and it's been working out all right. I do like the body cam attachment, so I've been doing a few of the up-close like plant with me ideas, like you're literally first person planting. So if you notice that a slight difference in the filming of the tomato video, then I was using the GoPro a bit for that as well. So that I don't like the sound on it as well. The other one I have like a nice mic with the dead cat on it so I don't get the wind. So I'm not as happy with the sound from the GoPro, but it actually stays on its tripod, so that's a plus. I tried zip tying my other one to the tripod. Like, it's a little sketchy, especially with the hill in the back. So, and then some days like I didn't end up filming. I was just out there and it was hot, and I was like, if I stopped to go get the camera, I'm just going to stay in the house. Wisconsin, the only one I didn't mention. Yeah, I just stick with the basic editing. I think that's going to be my goal for the winter, is to actually learn how to use an actual editing software as opposed to just the basic Windows HD or whatever it's called. I tried last year and I was like, oh my goodness, if I try to figure out, like, I can't figure out how to crop stuff or edit anything in there, and I was kind of going crazy, and I thought, you know what, if I try to add this on top of just figuring out how to do the YouTube videos and the composition and all of that, then I would never have gotten off the ground. So I think that will be my fall winter. Aside from organizing all my seed swaps, it will be figuring out editing software. So if anyone has any editing software that does really you know, gives a nice professional feel to it, but doesn't take too long to figure out. Like, I don't want like the Photoshop of video editing. That's I don't have time for that. DaVinci Resolve is a free, yeah, that's a learning curve. I tried that one. And I almost threw the computer out the window. I was like, nope. Like I couldn't figure out how to edit. Cut. I couldn't crop a thing. It's like, how is it you cannot crop this? I could not figure it out. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely need to find the time to figure out how to use that. I know there's a ton of YouTube videos, and I tried watching them, and I was just like, I just don't have the time for this. So I stuck with my old tried and true. Hey, how did it go? How'd everything go? Good to see you. Your dress rehearsal tonight. That sounds exciting. You went back to iMovie. Yeah, I know. The basics. You use Power Director. I've never heard of that one. I'll have to look that up. Because I do all my editing on the desktop. Because I use a... it's not up here. I don't use a phone. I have a cheesy, cheap little phone that I use for work because it has to fit in my pocket. So it's just a 4-inch phone. Anything bigger than that will fall out of my pocket while I'm on the job, and that's a problem. And it ends up falling and breaking, and I've got paint on it right now, so I don't want to get an expensive phone for that. So I just have like a $50 cheap phone that I use, and then I do most of my stuff I do on my touchpad, but filming on the touchpad's not so great either. It's a little awkward and cumbersome, so I use my touchpad quite a bit for posting from Instagram stuff, things like that, but I don't do any editing on that. I do that all on the desktop, which is getting more difficult with my daughter being home from school. She's doing her schooling on the desktop, so I have to figure out when to do editing. So that's the thing, is like I haven't done a ton of filming. I've been planting, and then anytime I want to do editing, my daughter is either in school on the computer or she'll be playing Roblox or whatever. So, all right, let's check the chat. Editing is the hardest. I'm afraid my videos are too boring. I don't know how to transition to make things snappy, or personalities are more subdued. You know what? You just got to be you. I think I've seen people. I've watched videos where people are really energetic and exciting, and other people that are calmer. I think as long as you're authentic, and you're not trying to be something you're not. Like if you're a person that is more subdued and you try to be more upbeat, it's just going to come across as fake and kind of annoying. So just you got to be you. You want your people to follow you because they like you, right? So use Final Cut Pro for editing. Okay. Randy is an HVAC man. Oh, good. Urban Girl Gardening. Farm back. Still can't use the GoPro. I did watch, I borrowed the GoPro, and then I watched a few YouTube videos on it. So there was one guy, he had a great video. He does like bicycling, I think. He does cycling. Thank you so much, Paula and Randy. Canva. I've heard of Canva. I haven't really tried that yet. Hey, Arizona kid. Sorry you're late. No worries. And Smita, hey, how are you? What time is it there? Where are you guys at? So Arizona kid is obviously in Arizona. I'm clever that way. Canva for graphics and thumbnails. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot with graphics. Like, I've dabbled a little bit with photography, and I have GIMP, which is like the free version of Photoshop, and my editing skills are pretty basic. I can do a bit of cloning to get away, to like if there's trash on the street behind us, or I forget, there's like a telephone pole coming out of the kid's head or something like that. But yeah, my daughter uses KineMaster on her phone, and she does these little video clips all the time. Canva for thumbnails. Yeah, I use Snapseed for my thumbnails. That's the one I use. I already had it downloaded on my camera, so that was great. Canva. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up Canva. Please would patch me too. They're definitely getting better though. Fresh from the garden. Hello. Oh my goodness, it's so nice to see everybody in here. This is great. My daughter was like, "Do you think how?" I said, "I'll be happy if 2 people show up. I'll be happy if I have 2 people that come in." And thanks. Thank you. My black screen. This is my garden arbor from last year that went nuts. But I can also go to the beach. So, woo! Now we're in Cuba. Welcome to Cuba. Hope you brought your drinks. Thumbs up at 15. Yay! Everyone's saying hi, hi. See, this is from a vacation. The camera's flipped again. Why? I don't know why the screen is flipped on this side and then it's not flipped on this one. So let's flip that so you can at least see the watermark properly. Oh, it just flips the picture but not the watermark. It seems like a flaw on the program. I'm using XSplit Cam, VCam. It's hard to say. XSplit VCam is what I'm using. It's free software to get the background. So I can kind of swap around. You can use their photos. So now I can be in the, I'm in, yeah. I am so fancy. I am so fancy because basically it's like I wanted to do a live and it's just in here. It's just, there's fabric and my kids' school stuff and everything. Oh, the watermark's right on your end. It's reversed on mine. That's weird. Hey, Joss from Vaughn. It's so cold. Oh, no. Yes. I think they're going to be okay. I think as long as it doesn't get below, as long as we don't get down to freezing, we should be fine. I had this stuff out in the greenhouse, and a couple of nights the heater didn't come on, and it got down to, I think, like 37. And that's when my tomatoes and peppers were tiny, and everything was fine. The only thing that showed a little bit of cold at that was the basil. A little bit of the basil got a little sad looking, but other than that, it was fine. So welcome from Vaughn. Very nice. Have you, do you have any nice garden centers in Vaughn? I wanted to hit up some garden centers with the GoPro this year. And so I did take it with my daughter, and they had nothing. There was like hardly anything in the garden centers. We went to like 3 or 4 garden centers that day, and there was like, they were empty. So I was like, yeah. You're terrified to go live. Do it. It's not so bad. I feel like I'm just sitting and chatting. I had a lot of experience back in the early 2000s with the Yahoo chat rooms. Do you guys do that? I had moved from back home. I had moved to Florida. I did not know anybody there. And so it was really nice to just sit and hang out with people in the chat rooms. And we would do like the webcams and all that too. So it's going down to 48 here tonight. It's been, I know. Yeah. The weather has just dropped about 25, 30 degrees here too. So I think everything's going to be okay. I'm not going to bother covering anything. I do have a weather alert app on my phone. So if it goes below like 37 or 38 or whatever, only go live. See, I tried going live on Facebook and it doesn't work for me. Like I try and it's like the voice wasn't working and everything wasn't working. Same. Yeah, we used to have a lot more garden centers. There was a couple I really liked and they've shut down. They shut down, I think, last year or the year before. And then the ones this year, I think they were having trouble getting stock, and prices were up from the growers. Prices were up everywhere. So I think it was really tricky for the garden centers as well. So I'm really, really grateful that I was able to grow as much as I did. And the only reason I was able to grow that much is because I used the soil blocks. I'm holding you to it. Oh, no. Kiki, you already said you would do it first. Oh, that's right. You know what? Who was it? Is it Gail that does the lives where she does like people, you can add people in. So you can have like 3, 4, 5, 6, you can add people. So maybe you'd feel more comfortable if you like joined someone's live. So it's not like all on you. Is there still one at Hartley? Yes. That is Lakeside Garden Galleries. And that's very nice. It's very nice. It's kind of pricey. And I just haven't really gone over there. But yeah, that's a really nice garden center. It's a lot bigger than I thought. They showed like a drone footage of the place not too long ago, and they were doing curbside pickup. But I think you can go there now with the restrictions. Green Meadow Farm. What do you think? Oh, you like my mountains? Yeah, I can be in the city now. Do you want to be in the city? Ooh. Oh, this is exciting. I haven't got to go downtown in the city in over a year. Yeah, we should do it. We could do like a group live. I'll go live, find someone else to go live. You might feel more comfortable doing live if there was someone else sitting there next to you. Take some of the pressure off if you freeze. So I'm happy to see how the chat works. So I wasn't sure because I know some people can get behind in the chat. And I wasn't sure if it was like perfectly synced up sometimes. So it's actually gone a lot easier than I thought it would. It's gone way easier than the Facebook lives or the Instagram lives. My Instagram live was way glitchy when I tried that. It kept cutting in and out. I think because I was on the edge of my Wi-Fi and I kept going between Wi-Fi and data. You have 5 more minutes. Oh, Act 2. Oh my goodness. Anyone want to stream live musicals? Anyone want to live stream my musical tomorrow or Saturday? Sure. I don't know. I don't think my internet is strong enough for a live. Yeah, I'm doing this on the hard line. I'm supposed to plant my sweet potato slips this weekend, but the weather has delayed it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't know anything about growing sweet potatoes or potatoes. I've never tried it. Go ask Gardening. He's like the sweet potato king. He has a lot of videos on potatoes and sweet potatoes. I don't know, like, I hate to say anything because I know a lot of people do like to grow their root vegetables, but for me, it's just like, I don't have, can I post a link for my, yes, go ahead. I'd already told people to post a links for their channel or plug their channel if they want. And I'm going to be posting on my Facebook page when I'm done here. So if you want to go on my Facebook page, feel free to plug your channel and just say like where you're growing from and whatever. And then we can use that to help share and get the words out for everyone. I don't grow a lot of root vegetables. Like I said before, I have a very limited growing space here. And I find that by the time root vegetables are available, they're pretty cheap at the store. Last year, I bought 2 10-pound bags of beets for $5. I was like, So I will save the room I have for growing for some of the more difficult varieties, the tomatoes and cut flowers and stuff like that. So I want to make my channel more family-like, still homesteading, involve my parents and sibling. What do you guys think? Go for it. Go for it. The more people, the better. The more people, the better. Think about sitcoms, and sometimes those sitcoms that have really made it through the years, it's because it wasn't like based on just one person. They added in a lot of other people and personalities. So, although it sounds slightly hypocritical that I'm saying that, being as I don't really have anyone else on my channel. But I hear my daughter, she has been wanting to be on a little bit more involved. But I think it sounds great. Keeps you relatable. More interaction with more people, more personalities, keeps it all. Do you have clay? I have clay soil, not clay like. I have clay soil. My daughter down with her friends at the ponds at the end of the street, they literally made bowls. They were down there digging and they made like little clay pottery bowls, had them drying out in the sun. Yeah, we got a lot of clay here. Yes, 250 is very similar to 150 for sure. That's the thing. It's like, do what makes you happy on your channel, and then that will project to other people. Don't try to be, just be yourself. Don't try to follow someone else. Oh, this person does this person does that. Just be yourself, be authentic. And they will come, as they say. Green Meadow Farm. Hearts, yes. Am I following you, Green Meadow? I gotta make sure I'm following. It's hard to make sure. And I find sometimes YouTube has been like unfollowing me. Like there'll be a channel, like I've had to subscribe to Arizona Kid, I think like 3 or 4 times. I don't know why. And I've gone over, I've watched the videos, I've liked them, I've commented on them, and then I'm no longer a subscriber for some reason. So if I'm not a subscriber and you're in the chat, let me know right now and I will make sure that I go and subscribe to you as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, dude, YouTube, mind your business. Oh, I want to follow these people. And then it's like I forget, and then I'll see them in a live chat or something. I'll be like, oh, yeah. And they'll be talking about something. I'm like, I don't remember a video. And then I'll go and look at, because I have been unsubscribed to them as well. So, Green Meadow Farm. Let me see. Yep, I am subscribed. 61 subscribers. And, here we go. Green Meadow. Here's Green Meadow's link. If you're unsubscribed to Green Meadow, there you go. Be natural, not so. Yes, making mistakes is all part of it. Oh, no. Does that go over well, Kiki, or are you just shooting yourself in the foot there? Okay, bye. Break a leg. Break a leg. Hope it all goes well. I am looking forward to watching the video link tomorrow. Yes, make sure you post it You can post it here, or you can post it over on my Brampton Gardener Facebook page too. I will share it there as well. Urban Girl, I keep seeing we need to niche down, but gardening as zone 3B is difficult. We don't have a lot of six. I think that's its own. Oh, and how do you guys say it? Do you say niche or niche? Because I grew up in the U.S. on the West Coast, and we said niche, like that's your niche. And then I moved here to Canada, and everyone here says niche. So, how do you say it? Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah. You don't think Facebook, YouTube doesn't care. Yeah. Once you hit that 1,000 subscribers, they might care. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of, that is your, now I can't remember how to say niche. Yeah. I think that's part of it though, is you're growing in a very cold climate with a very short season, a very short window of opportunities there, right? And keep in mind, like, I do watch the different, advice on YouTube, and someone will say, oh, do this. And then someone else says, oh, don't do that or whatever. So I don't know. You have to kind of see what works for you, what resonates for you, what feels comfortable for you to do or not do. I watched a video on whether you should hide your subscriber count. Never even occurred to me that you could do that. So I have no interest in hiding the subscriber account. The guy, some people say you should do it. This guy that I was watching said, don't do it, because a lot of people, they like to root for an underdog. They'll come in, they like to watch you start, watch you grow. And then as you get into bigger numbers, people will go ahead and they like to be part of the in crowd. So if you have small numbers, you can kind of get that underdog status. I'm following someone in Alaska growing in their garage fruit. Yeah, actually, I'm originally from Alaska. My parents are living in Anchorage right now. And they are like a zone 4B, I think, in Anchorage. But their last frost date was before ours, if I recall. Within a day or two, it was before ours. But they're originally from Fairbanks, and they were a zone, I think Fairbanks is like a zone 2. It goes from zone 2 to zone 3, somewhere in there, yeah. My dad, he used to garden a ton up there. Because, yeah, they have a very short growing season, like it's cold, but they have 24-hour, you're buffering. Am I buffering or you're buffering? Hopefully you can read my answers. It's, well, we're reading something, but we don't know if we're getting all of them. But what I was saying is in Alaska, it's a very unique situation because it might be a short season, but they have 24-hour daylight. And so a lot of the fruit and veggies, if you can get them started, they just go bonkos. No, I'm not buffer. Okay. So yeah, like my dad would say, they had like the biggest, sweetest broccoli you've ever had. Stuff just goes crazy there because it gets 24-hour sunlight for most of the summer. So it's a very unique climate for sure. Oh, yay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That's exciting. So I always wonder on the lives, if anyone ever really watches the lives back. If you missed the actual live, do you ever sit and just watch it again later? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if we get any views after. Not sure how often. I'm not sure if I'm up for weekly lives. I don't know. We'll see. My daughter was like, how about you do bi-weekly lives? One of her YouTube channels, she watches Funny. If you have children that like to watch YouTube Roblox videos, you'll know who they are. And they go live every other Friday, which I think is kind of cool. So it takes a little bit of the pressure off. But I don't know if I want to be locked into weekly or specific times, more just kind of like whatever. And I think it'd be more fun if we could go outside on the, with the touchpad or something. So once I get to 1,000 subscribers, then we can do lives out in the garden or out Lake Ontario. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, so I do kind of want to do a few tours, like maybe of the area. We have a lovely rhododendron garden down in Mississauga. It is like 20-minute drive from here, just south, right on Lake Ontario. It's absolutely beautiful. You can ride your bikes along there, and it's like the trail goes along Lake Ontario and then kind of through this park. And I have pictures from a few years ago. Absolutely beautiful rhododendrons all through there. Ah, that's a good idea, Nicole. Yeah. yeah, it's hard. Like you can't really click the links on the names in the live chat. I've noticed you have to just wait until it goes. Yeah, after it's live, then you can go and link into everybody else for sure. So yeah, we have a few different gardens. I've actually never been to the Royal Botanical Gardens in Hamilton, so that would be exciting and nice to go to. That would be fun to bring the camera. Yes, this is my first live. Thank you. I wanted to go live. What was the last weekend? I think it was Saturday night. I was like, hey, I might as well go live. And then I tried, and YouTube was like, oh no, this is your first live. You're not allowed to go live for another 24 hours. So they had to like check my video, make sure I was legit. Video, you are doing great. Oh, thank you so much. Oh wow, Nicole, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, the live YouTube. Another reason I wanted to do some YouTube is because I want to talk about plants. Like I love talking about plants. I think about plants. I read about plants. I learn about plants, and everyone around me is sick of hearing me talk about plants. So it's nice to find a group of people, an audience of people that like to talk and share about plants as well. So education. Did anyone do anything? YouTube or StreamYard? YouTube. Did anyone do any like education this year? Anything? I was kind of bored in January, and so I ended up doing 2 courses on, was it Gale? I think it's Gale.com University. And I could do it through the library. So you just go on your library page and you click e-learning, and there's a link for e-learning, and then I could take any classes at Gale University for free. So thank you. Thanks, Chris. So have you ever wanted a flow hive? I have no idea what that is. I don't know what that is. Can you tell me? I don't know what that is. So I took 2 courses through them, and I got my fancy little certificate I was able to print out. But one was on vegetable gardening. That was very basic. Like for anyone that's just starting out gardening, it was very basic. It discussed soil types, fertilizers, different kinds of plants. And then the other one was for seedlings, growing and selling seedlings. So that was more if you like wanted to set up a nursery. So there was a lot of good information, but a lot of it's like not really that practical for me. Like lessons on, like how many, size 1 gallon cans you can put in a 500 square foot space. But it was very interesting. It was all about buying different trees and shrubs in like the bare root form and the sizing. And I was happy to take it. It was very interesting. Have you ever wanted bees? I think it's a great idea. I just know my yard is so small that if I did have bees, there's no way my daughter would ever go in the backyard again. She is terrified of any kind of bug. So I just don't think my yard is big enough, and I don't think, I'm in a townhouse, and so the neighbors and all the yards are very close. So I think it would just be a little too tight. If I had some property, then I might. I have a friend, Heidi, who has some beehives. I have a few friends that are into it. You go through honey like crazy. Yeah, we like honey. I buy the all natural raw honey from Costco. Bye, Sina. Thank you so much for coming. It was great to see you. Oh no. Yeah, this one it's on a time schedule. Classes come out Wednesdays and Fridays, and then you have, I think it's like a 6-week course, and then you have like a grace period of like 2 weeks after that to take the final. And if you don't take it, then you don't pass it. I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's really that fancy of a certificate or whatever. So as long as you've gotten the information, I did quite a few photography classes from them 3 or 4 years ago, and I learned to actually use my machine on manual. So it was exciting. So there are some interesting and some free sources out there. I know there's some master classes that are fun too. Bye, Sina. Fresh from my garden. She's got some really nice videos, and I like her little, she does a lot of little shorts. So if you want to see just a little quick clip of a really pretty little flower, go check out Smita's channel. Yeah, and then I've read a few books. Lisa Mason Ziegler from Gardener's Workshop. She Gale Gale. Gale. Let me see. Gale University, I think it was. So just check and see if you know what, I looked to see if they had any video editing, and it was mainly all photography. So but if you're interested in photography classes, they have on there how to use like Photoshop and Lightroom and all those. So I'll have to look something else. Oh, I love any videos with goats. Goats are absolutely hilarious. But yeah, Brampton Library, we also get we can get videos from classes through Creative Bug. We get free Creative Bug classes, and Lydia.com. And Lydia.com are more like video clips. So like it could be kind of more like Creative Bug style, whereas Gale University is more of a sit down. You get the tests every week and you go through, and they have business courses. They've got all kinds of stuff through there. So just check and see if your local library has free access. We have unlimited access. I can take as many classes I want as a year. My friend out in Edmonton, Alberta, I think they were allowed something like four a year or for a semester or something. So they had a bit more of a limited thing on there, but definitely look into it. Like our library has free silhouette machines. And you can go in order to use it, you do have to take a class that they also offer for free. And we also have 3D printers that we can use for free. And they also have a sound booth, recording studio. So if you want to go in and, rip a CD or something, you can go in and do it there. It's all free, and it's all through the library program. And they use the local college, I believe, to help do the classes. So Sheridan College students or instructors come in and give the classes on how to use the items, and then you can go make whatever you want. They have limits on the size of things that you can make, but it's kind of interesting. So I was thinking I should go 3D print a new tripod holder for my camera, but nothing's open very well. So you do. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think I will be wrapping up soon, though. It is almost 9:45. Wow, that went fast. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This was really fun. It was nice to kind of be on the other end of the live for a change, answering the questions. But it's so nice to see the community of people in the group just being so supportive and fun and engaging. So I appreciate everything. If anyone has any last questions before I sign off and make sure the kid's in bed. I know my husband and the dog will already be in bed, but not so sure about the kid. So if anyone has any questions, or if anyone wants to do any collabs, let me know. I'm up for doing video collabs. I'm up for doing live collabs, so seed swaps, anything like that. I'm available. Yes, let's do a live. Let's do a collab for sure. I think Gail had like several, like 4 or 5 people that are just like, can I come on? And she's like, sure. So I think it's a different kind of a program that she has. So I'll have to try and figure out what that is and download it. And then that would be great to have a group of different people can come on, and we could do a theme night. What's your favorite tomato? What's your biggest mistake that you've done in your garden? I already know what mine is. I have a few, actually. Some of it turned out to be good or not, but yeah, sounds good. Thanks, everybody. So don't forget, go over to my Facebook page, Brampton Gardener. I should post a link here. And then let me get that typed up. Can't find it. I will post a link to my Facebook page. So here you go. And then just go. I'm going to put up a post in just a minute, and then go and make sure you post your link. Post your link to either your YouTube channel, your Facebook page, whatever you want to do for your social media. And we'll see if we can't get Kiki to that 1,000 likes. Yeah, so go over there, post it. Maybe put your real name and your growing zone, because people do like to know and follow people in similar zones. So wish you luck. I wish you luck too. I wish Kiki luck. I wish everyone in here luck. I had no idea how hard it was to actually do the videos. It makes gardening take 10 times as long. It's like some of the projects, like I could just be done already, but no, I have to go get the camera and set it up. And then, oh my God, I didn't have the sound wasn't on, and then you had to edit it and yada, yada, yada. So it's a lot more work than it looks like it would be. And kudos to everyone else that's out there and doing it and getting it done. So anything else in the, I remember when you were asking people to get you to, oops. Well, you are far from 666 subs now. Good for you. Helping everyone, yes. Oh gosh. Glad to know you've had success with your pest problem, and I'm wishing everyone a very happy growing season. Oh, okay, that's funny. I said happy growing season right when Kiki posted that. Very nice. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I had a great time, and it was nice to get to know you all a little bit better. And I'll see you on the next live. Bye. Bye.